So for today and tomorrow on Christmania, I'm going to be covering an accidental Ed Asner duology. I did not plan this, but for today and tomorrow, I will be reviewing two movies that both star Ed Asner in two different decades. Let's get it kicked off with 1977's The Gathering. It tells the story of a man named Adam Thornton, played by Asner. He is given a very grim health diagnosis. He has about 3 months left to live, about 90 days. And so, seeing as though this is around the Christmas holiday, he calls his ex-wife, played by Maureen Stapleton, to see if he can get a family gathering together to try and bury the hatchet before he goes, which is a lot easier said than done. When it comes to made-for-TV stuff, it really is hit or miss. You could have a few hidden gems among them, but most of the time it's not so great. But thankfully this is one of the better ones, and honestly this movie's really kind of beautiful, even by 2022 standards. Ed Asner just passed away late last year, may he rest in peace, and he was undoubtedly a legend, acting in a lot of things. He was Santa in Elf, and he was Carl Fredricksen in Up, and here he was the beating heart of the movie, and he was fantastic. He was acting as recently as this year when he was the grandfather in, of all things, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Roderick Rules. That's currently streaming now on Disney+. Wow. This being a movie about a man who has made horrible decisions in his familial life and trying to fix those in the little time that he does have, you gotta treat it with maturity, and I think the movie did a really good job of treating it with said maturity. The movie does a good job of not being too melodramatic, but showing in the limited time that it does have, because the movie is just about 90 minutes, in showing that, yeah, this dude screwed up big time with his family. He was very successful professionally, but personally, he was way in the red. In one of the early scenes, when he calls up his ex-wife and goes over and be like, yeah, I'm thinking about reconnecting with the family, and then she gets a call from his doctor saying, I think you better talk to your husband about something. She goes into the other room where he is and slaps him across the face and immediately calls him out on his BS. There's some parts in here that really do age the movie slightly. For example, there's a plot line where one of Ed Asner's sons in the movie was actually a Vietnam War draft dodger and was living in Canada, and that was one of the reasons why the family just completely fell apart. So it definitely is no question as to what era this was taking place in, that post-Vietnam War stuff. But overall, I give this movie a recommendation. It's one of those movies that really does make you feel like grateful for your family, or at least it does for me. I'm grateful that I'm on great terms with all of my family. But it really does it really does a good job of showing that we don't have much time on this earth, so we should try our hardest not to hold a grudge. And unfortunately, people do, but what can you do? The entire movie is available on YouTube. Just search The Gathering Ed Asner, and you'll be all set. I give this one a mighty recommendation, an underrated gem if there was ever one.